Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're at this day. This is your man, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. And I have a lady who I had the equating meeting a while back. It was a week ago, and I
Yes.
attended. We attended a party, which was the premiere of the Amazon Fitness magazine. And this was just a highlight for me. But I've been fans of and women in bodybuilding for a long time, and to be amongst these ladies, to meet ladies that I follow, some ladies who have become very friendly with on social media. And this lady I met at this party. This is one Miss Carol Bennett. And Miss
Hello.
Bennett, yeah, hello, how you doing? And
Good.
tell us your story, where you're from, and anything else that you need to know.
I am originally from Ohio. I grew up in a very small town and got married very young and moved away and did a little bit of moving around. I was married to someone that was in the military, so we moved around a little bit. He got out of the military. We ended up in North Carolina, and unfortunately, things between us didn't work out, but staying here in North Carolina did work out. And it took me a while to get to. I've done bodybuilding. I've been in gyms, powerlifting, in and out for 33 years. So I really started off in powerlifting, and I started that in Ohio. And I, got married, had a family, that kind of thing, and then I picked it back up much later in life. So for really, I've lifted off and on my whole life, but I really became very consistent the last 12, 13 years. And like I said, I competed in powerlifting. And then about 4 years ago, I made the switch to bodybuilding and then competed for the first time last year. And it was very exciting. And I would like to do it again and probably will. But that's what led me to where I'm at today.
Yeah, that's great because like I said, you got married young. My parents got married young too, and and they were together for 55 years. But the problem was like this: they were together 25 years in North Carolina, and my father spent 30 years in New Jersey. So, but they were still
Wow.
married. But they're together now in a better place. And
Oh,
that's the thing that you settle down, you get married, you have kids, and this is what people don't think, that a lot of ladies who are professional bodybuilders don't have children, and it happens to them. But the fact is, there is a growing number of women in the division who coming in, like yourself, also a lady who was at the party with Mr. Clara Rouse, who also my dear friend Mary Wachowski. There's a lot of ladies who compete who either had the kids before they competed, some had the kids after, and there's been a few that had their doing right competition. And to have that passion for bodybuilding, but at the same time to take care of family, that's a lot. Especially a lot on a woman.
it is a lot, especially if you're a single parent, which I was a single parent. So, having to raise, a daughter and things like that. And she doesn't have anything to do with weightlifting, which hurts my feelings a little bit, but it's just something she doesn't choose to do. Uh, but yeah, it is, because bodybuilding is a very selfish sport. It's a very selfish thing to do. And it all centers around you. Everything's about your eating, your sleeping, your posing, your gym time. And I spend a lot of time in the gym, so it can be challenging.
And especially take care of children. The cost of children. Because I don't have any kids. Lucky me. And the cost of children is expensive. Like you got daycare, this, that.
Oh
When
gosh.
it's sick. My mother. She had took care of me. I'm the youngest out of nine. My mother and father had seven together, and my
Oh
father had,
wow.
yeah, my father had two more outside of that. And my mother, she raised me, also my two of my nephews, and she was like the center of the family. And I respect, because I understand being raised by a single woman, and it's just I see her struggle, but you know what, she was able to make ends meet, and
Yeah.
she's the one who inspired me, because wasn't for her, I wouldn't be the person who I am today. We
Oh,
got here, yeah, thank you. We got here my man James Henry. Welcome, James. He says hi, everyone. Appreciate brother for coming through. Like I said, anybody
thanks,
you want,
James.
yeah, her IG's description. So reach out to her if you are interested. Also, this is my rule. I tell everybody. I tell them No D pics, none. Don't. No,
Yeah, no, let's not
yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because don't be that guy. Because I know, a lot of these guys out here, we call ourselves schmoes. But I know a lady told me, Miss Sheriff Fowles told me that we're friends. But some guys get a little too friendly, and that's the thing about you being a bodybuilder. A lot of it's a fetish for a lot of guys. I saw you did an interview with Sirius and Celius a while back with John over there. John follows me on IG. I follow him, and
Nice.
it's just the thing about you ladies. We see you all pumped up, especially when you're competing, when you're on the stage. You got your oil on, your lights shining off of you, and then there's a schmo saying, and it's kind of true. I remember somebody told me a year ago when I used to be on in your chat room, stuff like that. Said like, when your ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard, and that's just it's a thing about you know we have a lot of respect and admiration for you ladies, but we have people out there who have an issue with it. And I know, how old is your daughter now?
She's 26.
Okay, so when you were starting doing the powerlifting and everything else, and she was like, young growing up, what was that like? You being around and and people seeing you like, that's my mom over there, and some kids say your mom could beat up my dad.
My daughter, powerlifting is powerlifting and bodybuilding are two very, very different worlds. When I was powerlifting, I was a bigger girl. I mean, I wasn't, as and I'm not really lean right now, so it's kind of funny to say. I was not as lean as this, and I weighed a lot more. And nobody ever asked me how much I benched or what. In other words, my body composition was very different. So people just saw me as like a bigger girl. They didn't really know what I did. So there really wasn't any question. But when I started bodybuilding, and some of her friends or something would come over to the house, they would go, "Man, your mom is jacked," And so, I mean, and my daughter was just kind of like, yeah, because, it's funny. I think when you're when like, you speak about family and things like that, your family just accepts that's the way you are. They just know that they see the muscles and everything, but you're still, I'm still her mom, I'm still just her person. So she doesn't really see me as that. And she's not really ever, been exposed. I mean, her and I have spoken about, female bodybuilding. But I've always, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's kind of separate.
Yeah, see, like, I know a while back I did an interview with a lady quite well, Miss Rita West, and she talked
Yes.
about how there's this difference. She told me how when she got into bodybuilding, she didn't know much about it, and because I've been a fan of bodybuilding for like a little over 30 years. My older brother used to play football here, and down here south, football is a big thing. He was a local star here, and he used to collect the muscle max. And I was fans like guys like Lee Haney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Franco Colombo, those guys. And then I think I was coming up about 12, 13, and then I saw y'all women, people like Beth Francis and Laura Craval and Corey Everson. It just kind of blew my pubescent mind. And then I focus more on my channel. I focus more on you ladies, then, because if you go on social media, especially on YouTube, there's 11 million channels dedicated to the men, but so few dedicated to you women. There's myself. There's DD on the Spot. There's the Female Bodybuilding channel. There's a guy who named Mark Mass Muscle. He does every so often does something with women. He just did a thing about the Pittsburgh Pro, which was this week. Yeah, and he talked about the ladies that competed that show. And like I said, it takes a lot, because what is, I talk about this in my channel quite often, how the sacrifices you make, like I said again, and the cost, like I said, of being a bodybuilder, like your posing suit, your this and that, hair, there, makeup, everything. I mean, I remember when one of the ladies I did an interview with a while back said, like, how much cost your posing suit? Well, your posing suit could cost for $1,000, $2,000. So what? That's renting a car payment altogether. And especially down here south, because you in North Carolina, it's reasonable down here, but you live someplace else. I had a nephew. He lived in New York. He had a 1-bedroom studio apartment. It said it cost him about $3,000 a month to pay, and it's just the cost. I mean, and then like think of you ladies, it costs you more to compete compared to the men, because the guys got to put on a banana hammock and some tan lotion, and that's it. Once again, we have here my man James Henry. And he's saying, Miss Carol, what is your favorite body part about bodybuilding, if you don't mind asking?
Well, thank you for the question. Honestly, I like to work everything. It used to be that I really liked back. I went through a phase where I just liked legs and I like back, but I enjoy training all body parts.
Hmm. Yeah, I think some ladies say they specialize in one area, like like I say, like on my back because they got a good width, my legs are strong, or my abs, or my chest. It's just all different combinations of one thing. Now, besides being competing, as you are NPC amateur, which means that it costs you more to compete compared to a pro. And what things you do, because I know you have an OnlyFans. You speak back about that before, and that's the thing I talk about on my channel. How those things is a way for ladies to make income between their working, their training, do like this. And everybody don't think that just this doing that, but you do have a job, you do have a career. Before you were married, why you were married? Were you working, or was just everything was on him because he's the military?
No. So I moved with him. I worked. I mean, we moved around in the military, and when you do that, I didn't have like a set career at that point because I had really just graduated high school. I didn't go to college at that point or anything. So I would take whatever job I could find. And if anybody out there who's familiar with the military, sometimes you end up in a very, very populated area, a big city, and sometimes you end up in the middle of nowhere where there are hardly any jobs. But I always found a job and always worked. But when I had my daughter, we sort of agreed that I would stay home with her and take care of her until she got a little bit older. And when she started school, then I actually went to school for cosmetology, and I did that, and I did cut hair for a while, and then we separated, and I got into medical, and I started working in doctor's offices and things like that, and I really enjoyed it. And yes, I think I would. I still am trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. So, I've taken a little bit of time to myself and just really, really have dived into this bodybuilding thing, and I do enjoy it. I do a little bit of training. I do a little bit of personal training. I work part-time at a gym. So I'm just kind of having fun, just kind of exploring and doing some different things right now.
Yeah, I used to, like I said, when I was growing up. We around here, we were my grandfather and my father were sharecroppers. My parents, they worked the fields like that. When I was about 19 years old, I was already picking cucumbers beside my mom, and my little brother sitting in the bucket. He was 6, eating cucumbers. I done blueberries. I used to work. One of my first real jobs was I used to work at a gas station for like 16 years. I was started as a stock boy. Then I was the cashier, and then I was the assistant general manager. And I had a job working in textiles, and I had a couple of jobs. And one job I had for a good while was I used to work at a strip club, and yeah, because I had guys come say, "Man, you work around the girls." And I said, "Dude, I work at textiles. I work with women every day. Here, it doesn't matter. Clothes on, clothes off. Women, I'm sorry to say, y'all aggravating. Y'all can be aggravating. And and I can understand. Trying to find something. I was studying kinesiology. I was going to school studying massage therapy, but then my car broke down, and my mom, she was in and out of the hospital because she was sick. And then I said, I just, but it's a lot to do to try to keep yourself busy, to try to keep yourself competitive. And it was just something. We got to respect women like you, who come in this sport, who have a real interest in it, who have a real love for it and a passion for it. Because a lot of women will look at this like, why she wants to be a man? I mean, excuse me, she has a child. How can you be a man? I mean, I can't have a baby, even though I look like I'm pregnant. But you're in a sport where you take a lot of flack. You get a lot of, sometimes, like I said, like I talk about, when I said the no D pics thing, because the fact is that there's some guys out there who be like hating on you women, but at the same time, they like to show off their munchkin and be punching, and that's just, you got to be respectful because you have a kid, and your daughter, your daughter's about grown, but still, that's what I think she want to do is like look on your phone and say, "Mom, some guy sending his tallywhacker to you."
I it's funny, when I was growing up, I mean, even when I was very, very young, I the first time I saw a female bodybuilder, it was a picture of Kay Baxter. So that tells you I'm old anyway.
That's
But
great. Yeah,
I saw a picture of her, and that was something I just automatically related to. And I started weightlifting. Sorry, my cat's making a cameo.
that's all right.
You
That's
can't
all right.
control
That's
her.
fine.
I cannot
You're not the
control her.
first person whose cat or dog make a guest appearance. Hello, kitty.
She does her own thing.
Cats are like women. Y'all dog, you do your own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I started lifting weights. I remember I was in high school and I started lifting weights, and there was a little gym in my hometown, and I would go down there and lift. And I don't know, something about it, I just loved it. And it was winter, it was cold, so you're wearing jeans or whatever. But when spring came and I put on a pair of shorts and I came downstairs, my mother looked at my legs and she said, "What have you been doing?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Your legs, they're very muscular. What have you been doing?" And I said, I've been working out, and she asked me if I wanted to be a man. And I don't, she wasn't being mean. Like today, people look at that and they're like, "Oh, it's terrible that your parents spoke to you that way." My mother wasn't trying to scar me, but I mean, that just wasn't the thing. I mean, I don't even know how accepted it really is now, but I mean, at that time, so I mean, of course I didn't want to be a man, but my mother was upset and forbid me to lift weights anymore because I was getting, I mean, I'm very short, but I've just always been very stocky, and it's easy for me to put on muscle. And so, that was hard. And, bodybuilding is this thing. I just haven't really figured it out. I always felt that female bodybuilders, I saw them, of course, women with muscles are sexy. I think they are. I think women with muscles are a beautiful work of art. But it really has carried over to this fetish thing. And I have really mixed emotions and feelings about that. Because like you said, people do look at you very differently, and people do look at you like, do you want to, I think sometimes it is hard for people. They're confused. And it's not confusing to me. I enjoy it and I appreciate it. And it's my world, and it's what I do. And I recognize that it's not common. I mean, I think I'm fine. I mean, everybody lives in their bubble, right? Everybody lives, you go to the gym, you work, people, you're around your family, you're around your friends. People know you for you. They don't see you as a body. So, it's hard to understand that you're a person. I think sometimes it's hard for people to understand that you're a person inside of that, but you can be in a room full of women and you think you're totally normal. And then you get in with a whole group of women who don't lift weights and you realize you are not like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like some women be like, I just lifted 10 pounds and now I'm gonna look like Renee Tony. No, you're not.
Right.
Because like I said, it's about, you have to follow diet. You have to be consistent in your diet. Go to gym every day.
Very.
You have to use certain stuff. Like, we also know the word gear. And,
Yeah.
If you are, into it, really serious about it, yes, you can, you can move on. Some women, it's good genetics. Like I said, if you're short. And also I say like this, the shorter women can really pack on muscle, especially if you got shortest frame. Like I think the best bodybuilders are usually anything between 5'3" to 5 feet. Like look at Alicia Young. Alicia Young, she's like 5'3". She
She's
can
my
put on,
favorite.
yeah, she can put on some muscle. And
I love her physique. She's phenomenal to me.
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
fan of. I'm a fan of her. It's also like yourself. She's also a mother, and she's one of the few women. Like I mentioned, how she had her daughter while she was still, competing, and that's
Yes.
that's rare. That's pretty rare because the fact is, you're on stuff, and it changes your body and how your chemistry is. We have here my man Lawrence Perkins. He said, "Good afternoon, Kara and George. Good night to you, Lawrence." And also he says, "Good afternoon to everyone. Appreciate it." And
Good afternoon, Lawrence.
yeah. And Lawrence says, "Hey to the kitty," you know. And here we have here is Bullet's Gotti Show 2.0. He follows my channel. Says salute to you, Bullet man. Appreciate your support, brother. And thank you for coming through. Like, share. We have here James Huey, who's a fan. Miss Carol, what is your favorite color and food, if you don't mind me asking? He's a gentleman. He's a gentleman.
He is a gentleman. He is. So my favorite color is purple. I don't. It's weird. I like my.
Prince. Oh,
That's right.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I love Prince. I
Oh
love.
my God. This was great like this. Who was more talented, Prince or Michael? I'm gonna say it like this. Prince.
Ooh,
Prince like this. Prince wrote his own songs. He
he did.
danced, played his own music instruments. He could sing. Michael, he can dance, he can sing, but he never, because Preacher Jones wrote Thriller. His last couple of albums, somebody else wrote. And I like Prince. R.I.P. was when I heard he died. That kind of, my God. I mean, when I was a kid, I saw Purple Rain. I couldn't see it till I was older because my sister's older sister watch it, and I couldn't see that part when Apollonia got topless. Yeah.
she was the thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love that. I love Prince. But yeah, purple is my favorite color, and I don't, like I said, I don't have like a lot of purple clothes or things. Like I like my weightlifting belt is purple, or like my lifting socks are purple, or my shoelaces are purple, like something like that. But purple's my favorite color, and my favorite food. Ooh, there's so many. I have to say my biggest go-to would be a cheeseburger. Hands down, a cheeseburger. I love them.
Yeah, because I know like a lot of ladies also like I thought so one time I said a thing the lady said, what's that? I said it's cookies. I said, don't see those cookies because I'm training. Don't send me those pictures of cookies. And I know carbohydrates. You ladies be like Pookie New Jack City, be calling you, man, be calling my name, be calling me, man, be calling. And like after a show, I know what is your favorite cheat meal? Like you just get off the stage, you just gotta say, what, I'm hungry. I want, what would you love to eat besides a cheeseburger?
Anything Italian, but I probably will go for that cheeseburger and fries.
Yeah.
And I have a terrible sweet tooth, so I love it. This is terrible. I love cake.
Oh yeah.
I
Me
love
too.
cake. I
My
love
mom
the
used
icing, and it can't be that whipped icing. I don't
yeah.
want whipped icing. I want the
Yeah.
real thing.
See, my mom used to make like she used to get the duck in the Heinz and cook it. And what she used to do, like she used to make us two cakes. She make one chocolate or a jelly cake. She get like apple jelly, and that's just because around here you couldn't always buy the good stuff, so you have to make your own. Lois Perkins, Carol, keep on doing what you love to do. Let the blessings continue to shine amongst the world of negative makes positive impact on the including myself. And you have a fan with Mr. Perkins, and he
I do.
also
You know what? He's followed me on Instagram for a while, and he sent me a very long message and told me a lot about himself. And Lawrence is a good person,
yeah
and he is a very, very sweet person.
yeah because
So I
he follows
appreciate.
me. Yeah, he follows me on this channel. He comes on here. Like I said, that's the thing is. It's good because basically, like I say, we say about we know it's a fish. The fan base for women bodybuilding is like this. I talked about this before. How if you break it down to the men's go mostly guys who fan of guys with muscles, guys who grew up like you remember TV shows like He-Man and Thundercat, who grew up looking at guys like superheroes, and then you have the guys who are come say come sa, who are into guys with muscle, and then you have women. But with women bodybuilding, it's mostly men because as we are men, we are visual creatures. We see something different. And there's guys who like fat women, guys like skinny girls. There's guys who like women who are, just different. And that's the thing about female bodybuilding. It's something different.
Right.
It's something. It's something that kind of like I said when I told you before. When I was a kid, I remember like you mentioned Kay Baxter. I think she had a beautiful physique. I mean,
Yeah.
Kay Baxter, Krista Bach, Vicky Gates, who's also those women who are,
Yes.
women who are mothers like yourself, Vicky, Krista, Yaxina O'Keen, Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Franny Barrows. I mean, there were so many women who competed, who were mothers, who had great looks to them, style of muscle. You got to respect that about you. Now, what was it like when you first you did a show? It was the Charlotte Pro, and that was last year. What was it like when that first time you got on stage?
I was so nervous because I love weightlifting. It's my church, it's my religion. I can do it whether I'm mad, happy, sad. I love lifting. So to get out there and like to I'm not really good at I don't feel like I'm good at performing. So when I got out, I was nervous. I was very, very nervous. And I remember the guy asking me before I walked out, before they cued me to walk out, he asked me, he looked at me and he goes, he made a joke and I just looked at him and he looked at me and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yep, I'm fine." And it was funny because I had done a posing routine and I had been practicing this routine forever. And every time I did it, every time I never got anything right. I didn't get the timing right. I didn't get this right. I didn't get that right. But when I walked out there on stage, I think I kind of like, I feel like I bounced out. I don't know if that makes sense, but and all of a sudden like everything just went perfect and I just did the whole thing and it was such a rush. I just enjoyed it. It was just fun.
Mhm.
And there's no feeling like that, I mean, I look forward to doing it again. And I don't know, it was such a surreal experience because I never thought I would do something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
So
kind
it
of like,
was, yeah,
yeah, yeah, kind of like I remember one of my favorite wrestlers was the Road Warriors. Legion of Doom goes, "Oh, what a rush!" And it's that feeling. You're like, you feel like you just hit your stride. You hit
yes,
that stage, you're feeling good. It's just to shake off those cobwebs and to be out there. Have the judges look at you, being critiqued by your looks, so like that. And I forgot how you placed that show. I think you completed your masters.
I did win my class, and then I got second overall. There were two of us. There was you know bodybuilding at the local levels. There's usually not a lot of competitors. It's not
Yeah.
like bikini or figure where you're going to be up against several girls.
Yeah,
So
or
it was very
wellness.
limited.
Yeah, wellness is we had a party. We was like, I think you were the only bodybuilder there. You had at least three physique girls. You had
Yes,
two wellness girls, and you're the only bodybuilder there. It was a great time. I enjoyed because I posted. So if you check my channel, I posted some stuff on the from the show. It was great. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. It was great meeting some of you ladies and talking to
yes,
you. I mean, and we have to also shout out to one Mr. Glenn Young Sr. because if you
absolutely.
support his what he's doing, because
Yeah.
the fact is we need to see ladies back in the muscle mags. Back in the day they used to be on the cover sometimes, used to
Oh
be in the
yeah.
mags. The mags used to be like this thick, but the last few years, they have been pushing women bodybuilding out. As wasn't
They
that
have.
long ago we had the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, and Arnold had done this twice. This is the second time he does. As one of my favorite movies is and I know some people don't like me doing this, but I love doing it because it's my favorite movie. Is the Chris Nolan Batman? I love Christian Bale's Batman. He was great Batman, and how that part when Liam Neeson was talking to Bruce said like, take care of somebody, you walk quietly behind them and stab them in the heart, and that's how Arnold did to his bodybuilding when he got rid of Mr. International, and then he did it again with his physique. And I know Rita, she talked about this with her. It was her, Leah Denny, and Sheena Oleg were an interview a while back on Sirius and Silius,
Yeah.
and it's just even just get pushed out. I just did an interview about some time ago with a lady who's a Marilyn Yee. She's also an NPC competitor. She double dips. She does physique and women's open. And then today, we're having the Vancouver show, which is over in Vancouver, British Columbia, and there's only one woman representing female bodybuilding.
Yes, the Eva Montgomery.
Yeah, because I've been talking with Eva. I was hoping to say once things get, she come back on my talk on my channel. Because like I said, she's a mother with kids, and I gotta respect her. And also, I think her partner Layla was also doing the show, and that's just crazy. As it's just some ladies just said they wish they knew about the show because they probably would have done it. I know one lady who's a friend of mine. She wanted to do it, but she said that you had to get vaccinated twice to get into Canada. And it's just I know a while back they had the Toronto Pro when you have four women, and it's just that the talk is that they want it to change, but still, it's just it's just I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing.
I have my feelings about it, and I'm not sure. I certainly can't speak for anyone else but myself. I feel like, I remember back when I, first really was aware of female bodybuilding, and that was really during the Corey Everson, Tanya Knight, Sharon Marvell, back in that time. And I remember there was such a big controversy about women. Of course, if you watch the Pumping Iron 2, the women,
Yeah,
Bev
but
Francis
Francis.
came on the scene, and it was like, I mean, Rachel McLish was I think the top competitor at that point.
Hmm.
And Bev Francis came in, and it was like, I mean, she was muscular and she was amazing, and so she was completely different. And I just felt like, they question it then. Female bodybuilding, it's just, I feel like there's always been a struggle to figure out what it really should be. You
Hmm.
know, bodybuilding in and of itself, I think will always be an outlier sport because it is the only sport that I think, in my opinion, openly condones the use of gear and things like that. And, it's not, it, I don't know. I don't think they can mainstream body. There are a lot of women who look at me. I get a lot of compliments from women, but I don't know that women would want to do what I do. I think they might look at my legs, but overall, I feel like bodybuilding, I
It's
feel
like
like
a.
they don't know what they want it to be. I mean, do
Mhm.
you want us to be big? Do you want us, they did away with it, right? At the Olympia, they took it out and they said, women were just getting too big and too masculine. And so they created physique. And then, you saw the smaller physique girls. I mean, I love Dana Lynn. I think she's amazing. I think her physique is amazing. And she came in and she looked fantastic. But then, she was only there for a year. Um,
2 years.
and she had an amazing athletic body, and I thought, okay, I can get behind that. And then it just kind of started changing a little bit, and I don't know, I don't really, I don't think they know what to do with women bodybuilders, and I think they feel like we're not mainstream.
Mhm.
And I guess I can sort of understand, I can see both sides of it, but I don't think it's fair to eliminate the category and take away a platform from us.
Yeah, that's not fair because in fact that's a double standard. The men they keep getting pushed, and they get more opportunities because everybody like the big freaky guys. Everybody like Big Ramy or Brandon Curry or Heidi Chopin and all those other guys. And but now even now they created men's classic, which is a throwback. That's kind of like the male. I think men's classic. If you compare the men's division, you have men's open, which is okay. You have men's 212. That's physique in a way. You have men's physique. That's kind of like figure. Oh no, I think men's physique's more like fitness, and the classic physique's more like figure. You don't have bikini and don't have wellness, so there's no worry about those. But it's about progression as an athlete. You are an athlete. And I can say the part that bodybuilding will never be mainstream because the fact that if it was, if you can like have real companies that want to back it up, back in the day I used to remember, bodybuilding used to be on NPC, ESPN, Fox
Yeah.
Sports, each show on television. Now you only have time you can watch it on the internet or on pay per view. Right here we have here your man James Henry. Miss Carol, what is your favorite vehicle to drive? If you don't mind me asking. You got a lot of questions out there,
He has a
fellas.
lot of questions, all very good questions. I don't really, I mean, for me, a car gets me from point A to point B. If
That's how
I
I
could,
am.
I guess if I could have my dream car, I would probably have a Cadillac CTS.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
I just love, I don't know, I've always liked them, and I just think they're beautiful cars.
Well, my while back, my sister she bought herself a new truck. She lent me her old car. It was driving good while, not, but I can't back up. I got to park sideways so I get if I want to get somewhere, Because when I was at the party, I was packed the back on the, like in the side because I couldn't park in the front because my car can't back up. But like I said, I understand like the cars getting go where and cars can be paranoid anytime I like. Is there something going? What's that? What's going? It paranoids me. We have here Tony 97. Carol, you're a goddess. Oh, you have a fan.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
these guys get
okay.
excited. We see you, all you ladies with your big muscles, and you're looking at your pecs, and you're like, oh wow, and just and they just get excited. And the thing we talk about, as we said was earlier, how one thing is like, you look at other sports and you point at your sport saying you're on this, you're on that, you're on this, you're on that. But it wasn't that long ago when Congress put some kind of thing against a baseball. They went after Marion Jones. They got her busted. They tried to go after Barry Bonds, but there was no evidence. And all these other sports, there's more sports. Even this is where a lady who I became friends with, she told me even ballerinas use steroids. And
Wow.
if you look at some of the ballerina girls, they can look like figure competitors. And sports are always going to evolve. Like I was a while back, I was watching some behind the stage stuff from the on the classic, and I looked at the people, look at the girls in fitness and figure. You would think it was physique. I mean, looking at people like Erica Deer and Jessica Padilla, and also Mitzi Trescott and
Oh
Anja
yeah.
Nong. Those girls looked, more like
Physique.
figure physique competitors than figure and fitness. But the thing is, like, it's everything like any sport. It's evolving. Remember Babe Ruth? Then you get after Babe Ruth, you look at someone like Rocky Marciano, then to Mike Tyson, and to Dante Wilder. It's just every sport evolves. But the thing is, because we are the mindset have women, like when bodybuilder started, it was basically like bikini, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yes.
it changed, but like me with Rich McLeish and Georgia Fudge and some other ladies, they look like more like figure competitors. And then here comes, like I said, Corey and Bev, and Bev was a powerlifter herself before she started. It
Right.
changed. Then from Linda and Laura Craval and Kim Javetsky, then to Iris Kyle, Lita Popa, and to Andrea Shaw, Helen Trevino, and Irene Anderson. It's evolving. It's an evolving sport.
It is, and and that's I can't, because that's what I don't understand is you're going to reward it by placings, and you're going to keep placing, and you're going to keep doing that, and then one day it's like they just decide, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. And I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. You're rewarding the size, the mass, and those kinds of things, but then how do you decide to cut that off and say, well, no, we're not going to have it anymore? I don't really know. I think Hella Trevino kind of did a thing where she kind of, I think she mentioned, I'm paraphrasing, that she kind of confronted Arnold and was like, what's wrong with, here's me as a female, what's wrong with you? Why don't you have it at the show? And, he was very kind to her, and just, told her that she, looked amazing, but he didn't have it. I don't really understand. I think there's a lot of politics kind of involved with it, and it's hard. Women want to do it, like you said. I've been bodybuilding for years. I bodybuilded. I did bodybuilding long before there was social media. I don't do it just to get likes. I don't do it just to have an Instagram account. I do it because I love it. And I've always loved the sport, and I'll do it even if you took that all away from me. I would still be doing this, So I don't understand how they come to a point where they decide that they're just not going to have it as an event at a place where we should be able to have a platform, such as the Arnold or the Olympia or things like that. So
Yeah, because this year the Olympia is going to have women's bodybuilding amateur, which they didn't have it for a long time. We didn't have women bodybuilding for a long time, and now they're having the amateurs, which is a great opportunity for a competitor like yourself who wants to go to. Yeah, you know what? Some ladies who I follow said one lady I follow, she said she was doing physique, but now she's happy finding that she's having her category, her division back, at the Olympia in the amateurs, and also that next year supposed to do doing masters. As you know, there's a lot of ladies like yourself, Mary Ann, Clara, who are much mature women who, and I know it'd be a lot tougher for you to put get alongside some of the younger women or the women who have been competing for quite a long time, who developing is like far surpasses some others. But it's just finding your spot. And
yes,
and one person we got to shout out to is Mr. Jake Woods. Thank you for what he has done.
yes,
He's a fan, and I know like quick movies like Denzel and Training Day. Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. And he is doing stuff which is he's helping. Like he has the ambassador program. There's more stages. It used to be some of the ladies had to do physique. And then some are jumping back. As you know, I did an interview with a lady who I become friendly with, Miss Jada Beverly. She was told when her and Mila Ash were competing in physique, after the show, they told, hey, go up. And that same year, Mila, she competed and she won her first. She won the opportunity to go to Olympia as a bodybuilder, and the work you got to put in to get to that level, it's tough. It's like I said, we talk about the sacrifices you have to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, and that's kind of what took me so long to compete. Even when when I first started, when I left powerlifting and decided I wasn't going to do that anymore, and I switched to bodybuilding, that was the year they actually decided they weren't going to do bodybuilding anymore. And it really wasn't at a local level; it wasn't anywhere, and you just didn't see it. And I talked to a judge, and I said, what options do I have? And he said, well, you're a bodybuilder. I mean, he said, you're clearly your physique, you're a bodybuilder. He said, I don't think you could do he said, I don't think you could do physique. He
Mm-hmm.
said, I mean, you would have to lose. I mean, you would,
At
he
least
said,
30 or
I don't,
40 pounds.
huh?
I'm like a lot of muscle
Yeah.
and get down
He said, you would
sleep.
have to really come down. And I thought, man, I don't really want to do that. That's not what, I mean, if that's what I would have to do to compete, I guess I would have to really consider it. And at the time, I just, in my mind, and I've just always stuck by it and thought, I want to be a bodybuilder. Even if that means I never ever compete, I want to at least look like one. So that was, bodybuilding was always my goal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I never even strive to do anything else in that. So it is hard, and it is hard to find your place and think about what you want to what you want to do.
That's the tough thing about it. Like I said, getting support from the fans. We support you. We like I said, folks. Like I said, folks. You can check out on social media, and also like, comment, subscribe. Support these women. Like I talk about this on my channel. You ladies need all the support you can get, because one thing is the guys will always get support. They get sponsors, and you being NPC, that's one thing that really help y'all, because you need, because some people don't want to put their don't want to use you ladies to put out front when we sell the products, because the fact is, it's off putting in the mindset of the everyday John Q public to see one with muscle, like, and it's just, you have to understand that you're an athlete, you're a mother, you're a woman, you are committed to a sport, and you want to do great things in this sport. But then when you are basically pigeonholed or restricted from going to the next level, that's hard. I know that's why you did powerlifting for a time, because there you can be a big muscular woman more over than bodybuilding. I know
Yes.
Rita being a champion powerlifter. As there's a CC Igrams, She-Hulk. She's supposed to be transitioned to bodybuilding. You had Hunter Henderson,
Yeah.
who just out the gate, she wins her first amateur show, wins a pro card, and plays second at the Tampa Bay. And, and I think she posted. I think she said she's taking some time off, because I thought she's going to compete this year, but I think she's saying she's going to wean off a little bit and just maybe come back. And and that's the thing is, as an inspiration to to come to sport, and then see that what, it's getting so few stages. I know a while back some ladies complained that they're almost not going to have female, not going to have physique on it. But wait a minute, you have more stages than women bodybuilding. Just starting this year, there's already been 4 shows for women physique. 4 shows,
And
4 or 5.
and I kind of want to circle back around to what you said, like when you said, on YouTube, there are so many videos. I know I don't watch females train. I will, like, I'll watch Alicia Young stuff, like especially if I see that she has a training video, like I'll watch her stuff to see. But you don't see a lot of female bodybuilders training or having instructional training videos on how to bodybuild. And so I watch a lot of dudes. I watch a lot of dudes bodybuild, and I do what they, I use some of their training formats or some of their things. I'll look at them, and I mean, John Meadows was amazing. His training
RP.
videos are amazing for men or women. And he did feature women at times. I mean, he had Missy Truscott on there, and so he's worked with some girls and done things. He did some things like that. And I like to see that. I want to see women train. I want to see women do hardcore training. You know, I want to see, so that's kind of what I would like to do. I think I kind of want to get into making some training videos and actually train.
Yeah,
and not
that's
just, have hair and makeup done and,
well, you can do both because that's the thing
yeah.
is, that'd be a great thing. You can that be something you can do. You can do both because a lot of ladies, like I said, especially that'd be a great way to make some side cash because I know some of these shows can use women to work behind makeup and hair stuff like that. And you could do that. You could your workout thing like YouTube. Like I said, I've been on YouTube about a little over, almost 5 years. My channel started out. I started as being on here just watching videos because I joined because some videos couldn't watch unless you subscribe to YouTube or you have a. And then my mom, she was sick for a long time, and dealing with her stuff, I just came on sometimes to talk, and then I started doing commentary about female bodybuilding. I met a guy on here. He talks about mixed martial arts, women in mixed martial arts. His name is Coach Sharon Harrison, and he encouraged me. And I just started. I was using my first middle name, George Page, and then somebody else while he was in George Page, and I said, what am I going to do? I said, so call myself all the ways George Page. And then my friend says, go with the king of bodybuilding. Top would say, nah, king is too common. And I remember something I used to love. I'm good by history. I remember how Napoleon became ruler of France. Instead of calling himself king, he called himself emperor. I said, you know what? Emperor is a little more prestigious. So I call myself the emperor of female bodybuilding talk. But I have three personalities. Right here, you're looking at George Page, all the rage. There's a pervy sage. Yeah, I do pervy stuff, and it's also this is one of my favorites because as you know, I said again, I love the Batman Chris Nolan movies, and this is my favorite character, the Joker. I like dynamite and gasoline. Why so serious, son? And to say against my father was a drunk and a fiend. My mother never like it, not one bit. And it's a way to really it was helping with my mother's stuff, and also to really get some content out there. Here we have Tony 97. Are you any other sports, or are you interested in besides bodybuilding?
Not really ever been into any other kind of sports. The only thing I think I would probably sounds crazy, but I'm kind of a free spirited person. I think I probably at some point if and when I ever decide not to bodybuild anymore, I think I'm gonna do kettlebell workouts and stuff like that. I actually do a little bit of that. I've been playing with it a little bit, and I actually enjoy it. But as far as myself and no, bodybuilding has really only ever been the only sport that I've ever really considered.
Sound like a little bit like CrossFit because CrossFit. I think we had two CrossFit girls at the party.
We did.
Not
Yes.
yet. CrossFit that's been kind of popular the last few years.
Yeah,
And
I
here,
have a very good friend of mine. She was in CrossFit for a very long time, and she and I are best friends. And whenever we get together, she always puts me through these workouts that just wreck me. But I love it. I mean, I love the challenge of it. So I think I would. I don't know that I would do CrossFit, but I would probably do something that is CrossFit-ish, if that makes
CrossFit
sense.
adjacent. This is my brother Carmo 99. We are brothers from the CS Combat Sports. He's a fan of bodybuilding. Yo, George, just stopping through. Carol looks great. I mean, Combo Breaker, thank you, brother. He talks about mixed martial arts like I do. I do some stuff about mixed martial arts too because I think I compare you women just to mixed martial arts women to bodybuilders because the fact is you don't get as much recognition as a man. It's a lot harder for you to be accepted because of the fact the ideology that women in combat sports, I've been like a boxing fan since I was a kid, and women boxing. I've been following boxing. I used to go with Mike Tyson, Ali, and like that. And that's why I do a lot of content on you ladies because the fact is you women need a lot more attention than the guys. Especially in bodybuilding. I do content on bodybuilding. I do content on mixed martial arts, wrestling. I want to call attention to you ladies because the fact is it's a struggle for women, especially in sports that's considered very masculine.
Yes.
And it supported that. Here goes James Carroll. Miss Carroll, you're awesome and pretty, cool, and keep up the great work. And you rock. Oh, James here, you're a fan of his, and this is my man here, balls deep. She's beautiful, yeah. And to quote the Joker, and she is beautiful.
Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. And it goes like James here. Ella or George, the Joker laugh, though I still love the Joker laugh. Yeah, I love that. Like because when I remember watching the when Jack Nicholson was Batman. That was a
Yes.
great one. I grew up with Cesar Romero because the old Batman TV show. But when Heath played it, he just ran with it. He just, it just took, it was just, I would see that movie and he just like, like that's what they said. Like, if you're good at something, never do it for free. And that's the thing. If you're good at something, yeah, that's true.
That's funny.
Yeah. Here's is Tony 97. It would be nice to see Carol trying something like MMA or BJJ. I don't know if she'd be into that.
Oh my. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I think if somebody were like to punch me or kick me or something, I'd just cry. I think I just burst out into tears.
Yeah.
I don't think yeah, and I've tried to imagine that because I know it's really popular. I know a lot of people do it, and I do get asked that from time to time if I am an MMA fighter. Once in a while, somebody will just go, "Hey, are you an MMA fighter?" And I thought, man, I don't think I can move quick enough to be an MMA fighter.
Yeah, because just last night the PFL had a fight. It was Carol Harrison. She's a former two-time Olympia champion for judo, and she's kind of like she's a little taller, but she's also she has a lot of muscle density. And most women in mixed martial arts are not that muscular, but there are some women who do like the UFC's had an event tonight. It's a UFC 274. You people like Jessica Andrade. She's strong, but she's not too muscular. There's a fighter who's on this fight card that a fighter that I interviewed a while back, man, the name of Lupita Gutierrez. It's called Lupi Gutierrez. She's fighting a girl named Ariana Carlosi. And if you see this girl, you would think she is a borderline, maybe a lightweight, I would say, she's closer to maybe like a physique competitor.
Wow.
She got huge traps. She's big arms. There's another lady who I follow. She's a MMA fighter by the name of Sarah Mann. She's a former wrestler and she has muscles on her. But the thing is, you don't need too much muscle density because the fact is, it takes a lot of air and oxygen to fuel that muscle. And that's the thing is that's why you don't see a lot of MMA fighters with too much muscle because the fact is, especially you have to kick, you have to move, you have to do submissions and stuff like that. And it takes a lot of energy to fuel that muscle, and you can wear out real fast. Some you can gas out.
Yeah, definitely. And I sort of like had a little, I thought, I'm going to get some kettlebells and I'm going to play with them and kind of see what they're about. Cause I do like to challenge myself, like with little things like that. And I thought, well, I'm going to test this out. And so just breathing correctly to use a kettlebell is it's tough. I thought I was going to die. But, and I thought, well, because some of the, I looked at some routines and I thought, well, they just do 5 reps of each thing. And, they do a round, but they do like 5 sets of 5 or something. I thought, well, 5, that doesn't seem like very much. So I thought, well, I'll do 10. Well, you should stick with the 5 and build. You should just go ahead and stick with the 5. It really is tough and it will take it out of you. And, so yeah, but I could see myself doing that type of training.
Yeah, because like I say, that is tough training because I know I've done some interviews with ladies in mixed martial arts. It's tough, and it's a lot of work you have to put into it. And I've talked about as also we talked about how it's not as even though they get paid pretty well, they still don't get compared to boxing. If you think about it, last week ago we had one of the biggest female boxing events. Was it Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor? And to me, Amanda Serrano won that fight. I'm just going to say that. And, if you look at some of the top MMA fighters, they don't make as much as maybe a second-tier boxer. And if you look at bodybuilding, as they just had the Olympia. And then this thing about Olympia is, they changed the qualification. It's no longer the top 5 for Miss Olympia or the other divisions, or still for men's, the top 5. But now it's the top 3. Like, Hella, she's out because of an injury. I follow Hella. We've been talking on social media. She won't compete to next year. And I think she said she's thinking about retiring. Maybe, I think it might be her last Miss Olympia. She was out for almost 6-7 years for injury. And, a lady who also I follow, Miss Mona Porcella, now she has to compete and to get a qualification. A lady I also follow by the name of Barbara Majan. She says she has to compete because she took fourth again at the in Miss Physique, because she took it last year, took fourth, and now she has to qualify, and that's just messed up. You put in all that work, you earn your qualification. It's been almost five, the top five, almost the last 10 some years, but now you want to change it, pull everybody's rug. Now everybody has to work hard and start all over again.
I feel like they did that to Iris Kyle. She was the most winning Ms. Olympia. She won 10 Miss Olympias, and they retired her. She didn't retire. They retired her, and I think that was part of the deal with her, right? She wanted to, they wanted her to requalify.
Mm-hmm. For the Rising Phoenix. I think that was that year when Lena came back.
Yeah.
And this thing that I like this. If you didn't want Iris, what they could have done, the judges could have said, let's give the title to Alina. We get a new Miss Olympia. We could have kept on going. You had the Miss Olympia they wanted, but they, did some backhand bullshit and did what they did. I mean, it's just, and what Iris was, kind of dirty because what? She's a former Miss Olympia. I think she wanted the opportunity to compete at the Rising Phoenix because Rising Phoenix was created as a substitute for the Miss Olympia when they yanked it from under skates. As I said again, like how the IFBB walked quietly behind female bodybuilding and stabbed in the heart. We have here KL, don't go against nature. Everybody can't be a fighter. That's true. I don't like to fight myself. I can avoid it. I mean, I'm a country boy. I don't fight. I wrestle.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't throw the hands that well. Here also, KL, don't go against nature. She looks like she could be a wrestler. You could practice on me. Just joking. LOL. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank
you. Yeah, you guys, you want to wrestle, you want to fit on these muscle chicks, and then in the shower, afterwards.
I get that all the time. I always like, I want to arm wrestle you, or I want to wrestle you. It's like maybe I'm the most boring bodybuilder on planet. I don't know. It's just never been my thing.
That's the thing is about like one thing we talk about the fetish thing is
yes.
That's the way some ladies make money because they do there's channels like HBC. Muscle Girls, the session things, as I call them, the beat the meat channels, and that's what it is because it's guys who's watching it, and what we're doing,
Right.
and it's a thing about it's a fantasy. It's like it's not about chest or strength. It's about something like they're probably while you arm wrestling you and you getting that big bicep, they're getting a big bicep between your legs. They get excited when you see those big muscles, and like I said again. When your ladies are on your, because as I said, I did talk before how people got to remember when your ladies competing, y'all at your weakest because the fact is,
yes,
your body's dried out from fluids and like that. You're not at your best shape, but that's the thing about it. I think that's that arouses guys. So when we see y'all ladies, you're shredded, you got the tan oil on you, you're on the stage, your lights popping, and it can be dangerous. I recently did an interview with a lady by the name of Jennifer. Jennifer Sada, and she competed at the Olympia a few years ago, and she fainted at the Olympia, and she told me how she had to come back on to finish up, but she fainted while she was doing a pose. It was her. She was on stage with Jimmy Pepperone and Rosemary James, one of my favorite bodybuilders. I love Rosemary James, and she fainted, but she came back. I was a lady, another lady who competes, who's also a female bodybuilder mother, Patty Henson. She was on the stage, and Patty looked like she was about to die, and that was in Chicago last year. And that's the thing, that's a risk. As we just had death is a risk in sport too, because you just had Cedric Millen that just passed away. Stacy Cummings, where I was at the party with y'all, I saw this. I was looking at my on my YouTube, and they put it, and it was in my timeline. I said, "When was this?" I was talking to Amanda Snooks and said, "When was this, man?" They say, "Oh, she died just a week right after Cedric." I said, "Wow." And it's crazy. Just had last year, you had, just back-to-back deaths. Like you talk about John Meadows and him, and then lady who was in contact with Miss Stacy Hernandez, Jennifer Hernandez, and also Elena Havani. It's just people don't think that you're really taking your life as risk. Different from any athlete. There's been boxers who died in the ring. There's been baseball players that died. I mean, it's just a risk, this sport, and you often get to say yourself, is it really worth the risk?
Right. And I do think that is something that you have to ask yourself. Uh, I think that when you talk about the sport evolving and everything, and with the introduction of social media, there's so much pressure, I think, especially on females uh, to stay more in a contest, near a contest, shape. And that's not the natural state for women's bodies. It's really not. I mean, the low percentage of body fat and that kind of thing, it's not really normal, and it's hard. I have to fight for my body to sit there. I mean, there are some women who are, naturally more leaner or things like that, but I think that there's more things going on than there used to be. I think people are staying on cycles longer than they used to. I think some people are taking things that, were never really taken before. I think it's a perfect storm. I think it's all those things. And staying on a very, calorically restrictive diet for, overly extended periods of time. I mean, all those things I think play into that. And that those are some of the things I wish would kind of ease up a little bit in bodybuilding, and let women, let them put body fat back on, and let them be healthy, and let them enjoy, I'm not saying, hit the drive through for every meal, but allow you to relax, to eat more. I mean, honestly, bodybuilding, you just develop, I think it sometimes can lead you to develop, eating disorders,
Yeah,
because
because
you start to eat. I mean, I know myself, like, I'll catch myself. I understand how to eat out of a container, but to just, I do eat healthy meals, and I do try to eat clean, but I've let a lot of things. I love iced coffee. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's terrible for you. But things like that. I think that those are things that are contributing.
Yeah, my
So
mom, she used to love regular coffee. She drinks coffee like an old cowboy. She had to have pancakes and eggs and sausage in the morning when I used
oh,
to cook.
yum.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's the thing is you like I was talking with some ladies like you would like to eat. Like I knew you were at the party and there's some things you couldn't eat because because you're training, you're getting ready. And it's hard to like see like we had steak and chicken and potatoes and like that. And you look at that and say like, oh my God, it's there. And that nice cake. I didn't get a slice because I need to cut back on my sugar. But it's hard because food is addictive. I can
Yes.
tell you first, it's being a fat man, and it's hard not to, you see where everybody else is looking at it, and you want it, but it's just hard to deny yourself. It's just, and the thing is that being a woman, it also women, you have a higher BMI than men. It's one
Yes.
thing when guys, put on muscle because it's our genetics, but it's another thing for women because you're changing your genetics, you're affecting your menstrual cycle. I mean, your body changes, your voice gets deeper. As some people might say, your clitoris becomes like a small penis, and there's so many things that affects if we take through this stuff. And women, there should be some guidelines. Like I think there's a guy there's out there who trains people, and some of the women who died was under him. And the thing is that you have to work women differently than men. You can't put them, women are the same things to men because your bodies are much different. Here we have KL. Don't go against nature. Yeah, I follow Carol on Instagram. Thank you, KL, for following Miss Bennett. And yeah, does wrestling videos make you beat the the chickens? Yeah,
What?
KL. Yeah. You probably watched the wrestling. You're like one of my favorite wrestlers is Jay Cargill. I mean, she has an amazing body. She's sexy. I mean, I like to watch her wrestle. I mean, I used to like watching wrestle as a kid. I grew up in the South. I used to always like watching wrestling, but you see more women. I did a couple of interviews with some female wrestlers, like the Road. Her name is Weapon of Axe Destruction. A lady who become good friends with Miss Taya Tacoma, aka the Great Warrior Wolf. I mean, and we respect them as competitors. George kicking the science. Yeah, science is thing. It's truth. Science is truth sometimes. This is from Tartar Unicorn. Hey George. Hey Carol. Carol is charming, very charming lady with a beautiful appearance, charming eyes, and a great figure. Oh God, you got
Very
you
much.
got a fan. You got a fan. Hey, Tartar. I got a rule. When you follow on social media, no D pics. None. None. Stop that. Don't do that. Don't be that guy.
Nah,
You know,
don't be that guy.
don't be
Yeah.
that guy. Don't be that guy. And that's the
You know,
thing
it's
is,
funny, like you were mentioning about food and how food, is a drug, and it is. And I think the best way I think to think about food is that food is a drug, but unfortunately, unlike recreational drugs, it's not. It's something you have to have. And I think of a lot of times I think of the grocery store as my pharmacy, and I think of the food as my medicine. So what can I eat that's going to be healthy and good for me? And don't get me wrong, I mean, I have my share of a snack or something like that. I'm like I said though, I have a terrible problem. I'm not a salty person, but I'm a sweet person. So I
me too.
love sweets. But you do have to, there is a balance, and I think that you can strike a balance. However, that balance for someone who's a female bodybuilder competitor, that can be tough.
Hmm.
So, but it's good to see girls, when they're in their off season and they're healthy and they look amazing. I mean, Teresa Mata, I thought looked amazing
Yeah, she
at
looked
the,
beautiful. She's
she just, I mean, she's so cute anyway. She's
short.
something
She's short. She's very like she's very
kind of
very
bubbly. And,
yeah, very feminine.
yes,
Erica Lopez. She's an attractive young lady.
yes.
And also all the ladies were there were wonderful. I mean, amazing ladies. I got the ones I got to talk to. There, it was a great. I had fun because, like I said, get to like I said, me started doing this path and content and getting to finally to meet women like yourself
Right.
and and Mary Ann and Amanda and Carol and just all you ladies. It was a great opportunity because the only time I saw you ladies like either when I do interviews like this or on television or on social media and to be at that event, people, if you check out my channel, you see I've posted some, videos on it. Also, you can check out my IG. Also, if you follow me on Facebook, I have a Facebook page called the Lions Den Female Bodybuilding Community. It's dedicated where it shows positive attitude for women in bodybuilding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's something that it was. My friend Coach Sherrod Harrison, he is part of a game called Lions Den Boxing Community. I asked him, can I use that name Lions Den, for, he says, that's cool. Go ahead and do that. Because I think is you ladies need a lot more attention. You need more positive. People need to see you as you are. I said again, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're an athlete, you are a woman, and they got to see you as that. And I want to bring, like I said, I took care of my mom for almost 6 years. My mom, she had her first seizure like about 7 years ago, and then she was doing all right. But then after a while, she had a couple more seizures. She had a stroke. She couldn't do more. And I was living with her. My mom was my roommate, my best friend. Best like this, I'm just like an old cowboy. My mom was my woman. So and I took care of my woman. And then it's gonna be 2 years this summer, and my woman left me.
I'm sorry.
And I started to take care of myself because I used to be a lot bigger, but because I take care of her and I ate because sometimes food can be a relaxer, but it can be
Yes.
kind of thing. And I started doing this because the fact was I needed something to do in my life because you know what I needed something to keep my mind busy because I had her in her because she took care of me. Right, I remember when I used to come home from work. I remember I was working a job at a cold place. I came home, it was cold. She fixed my bed, she fixed my room, she put a warm heating pad in my bed. She took care of me. I took care of her. And this is where I now, because I don't have no kids, I just got me. I got brothers and sisters, they got kids like that. But this is something I like to do because I like to call attention to you ladies. This is my I like to say I want to be an advocate. That's why when Glenn he got up with me because through Mary Ann Wachowski. Sorry, Mary Ann, I won't apologize. Say Wachowski, and she's giving my number. He contacted me. It's great to find somebody who has the passion for you ladies in my own backyard because I live in Robinson County. He lives in Hope County, and
Okay.
yeah, and you're in North Carolina, and and it's good to find somebody who has the same passion for this sport for you ladies. Because the fact is, I said again, you ladies need much attention. It's and the cost of being a bodybuilder. And also, as you know, being an amateur, you don't get paid. You got to pay admission fees and stuff like that. You know, it's a lot of money coming in your pocket. As you know, last year, you know, they supposed to change the price money. All it was just, you know, price money because it brought in wellness. And, you know, Big Ramy walks away with, you know, nearly $500,000, while Andrew Shaw takes $50,000. And that's crazy. I mean, wait a minute. I know female bodybuilding is not popular per se, but at least get the woman enough where, you know what, I might not do the Rising Phoenix. I'm gonna skip it, you know, and just focus on Olympia. Or just, you know, as you know, some of the shows, as you know, you done some pro am shows where the guys are walking away with $40,000, while the top female winner to win the division in is walking away with $3,000 to $5,000, and that's a damn shame. Where in which, you know, it's you know, I'm not saying that the women should get paid just as much as the men, because the fact that we all know it's the guys that people come see, but it's you women that keep us in the chairs. I mean, I remember I used to be at this chat room. This guy told this story how he went to a show. He goes to a show. It was national or something like that, and he was sitting in the audience and he was watching, and he hears a commotion in the back. He said, "What's that going on?" He sees this guy getting dragged off by security guys with his pants around his ankles, you know, and it's crazy, you know. And he's sitting like a seat right next to one of the trainers of one of the women. Say that, yeah, that guy comes here by the other time, you know. He's one of these smokes. You let to come in there. Why, guy? Why don't you just go in the bathroom or go to your room? You want to do that?
Yeah. No, I agree. It's, you know, it's nice, and I want to say thank you, and and say thank you to Glenn, you know, for giving females, you know, giving female bodybuilders a platform, a legitimate platform to speak on and talk about. And like you said, I think it's easy to objectify female bodybuilders just because of what we are, muscular women, and it's not that common. So, you know, it is something that's kind of an outlier thing, but I think that it does. You know, as a female bodybuilder, right? Like, you're getting on stage, you're objectifying yourself, you're putting yourself out there and saying, "Hey, look at me." So I get it, and I see that point. But like you said, you know, we are people. You know, we're human beings. I mean, there's you know, like you said, we're mothers, or we take care of family members, or we do things, and you know, there's a life. Bodybuilding does take up a large majority of your life, but there are other things. And so it is nice to have a platform to be able to, you know, talk and have people interact with you, especially people, you know, writing in or asking questions. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I know sometimes, like some ladies I follow, I might send them something funny every now and then. They like that. I might, you know, like I sent like some ladies like a list of what's coming up for the show this season. She said, "Oh wow, I mean, I didn't know," because the fact that she's not too internet savvy. I do a little fan art, you know, and I sent to the ladies, and they appreciate it because, like I said, that's something when we give out positive vibes to somebody, it makes them day. I mean, I have ladies who like I said, I do my comparison videos. I do comparison videos because I got the idea from a guy named Mark Max Muscle. He does most of the dudes, but every time he might do something with women. And I said, you know what? My idea is like this. I'm not going to have a winner. I'm just going to talk about the ladies, tell about the history, you know, talk about them. As this month, I'm dedicated to women who are mothers. This is Mother's Day because, you know, tomorrow's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm doing a whole month dedicated to ladies in bodybuilding. I do a couple of regular, just talk about some ladies. And then I have one I call Flex and Sex Appeal. And, you know, and there's some beautiful women in the sport. And, you know, and just amazing women, you know, it's just not just physically beautiful, but eternally beautiful. And when I talk about you ladies, I send some of my videos out to some ladies, and some ladies who saw it on the internet say, "Wow, thank you," because you know what, I really appreciate this, because the fact is, no one talks about us, no one gives us attention, you know, and that's the great thing about when I got with Glenn, you know, somebody who has the same passion. Right now, I'm planning on, because this is something I always want to do, but the problem was I had 2 jobs, never had a time. Now I have no job and I don't have the money, but I'm planning on going to my first show. It's going to be, I talked about it on my channel and I posted that. I was going to say, I wanted to go to the Olympia, but they moved it to Vegas. And, you know, and it costs double for me to get a seat. And I don't like flying, but I'm going to Savannah because, you know, where I live I'm just 2 miles from South Carolina. Savannah's just maybe about 3-4 hour drive. I'm not driving. I'm going to catch a train. because I ain't gonna drive. That's too much. Gas prices is like like gas. Like you might as well buy crack. Buy gas. You know.
You will enjoy. You said you're going to Savannah. Savannah's beautiful.
Yeah, because I think it's a lot. Savannah's a lot closer to me, and it fits with my timeline. It saves some money to the side. I hope nothing like car or anything breaks down to make it. I'm not gonna go up pissed off, but it is a great opportunity because I always watch these shows on TV or I watch a couple on live stream, and it's just I want to experience, see what's it like. I remember coming up, one of the shows I used to have in North Carolina was the Jantana. And Jantana was the only standalone women's bodybuilding show. You have Rise Phoenix now, but it used to have it in North Carolina and Charlotte, and so they had it in Virginia. And it was the first and only standalone women's bodybuilding show. You didn't have to say the stage with the banana hammocks. It was just all ladies. And it was a great show. It was a great show. And it's sad that it's gone now. But, thanks again to Jake Wood. We have a show for you ladies. It's all ladies. You don't have to share the guys the stage with the men. They don't have to use the attention's on you. And that's the great thing about that. Like I said, we had to thank Jake. Here we got your boyfriend, James Henry. Happy early Mother's Day, Miss Carol.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, we don't want to hold up Miss Carol long. This lady, she gave, we've been talking back and forth, and it was a great opportunity to get her on here and to talk with her and get, and just to, especially it's for me as a content maker, especially in my home state, to talk to somebody in my own backyard in this sport. Recently I did an interview with a lady. She's a MMA fighter. My name is Katie Perez. She lives in Greensboro, and it's a great opportunity to talk to somebody in my own backyard. I would love to talk to more ladies who are in North Carolina, because the fact is, to get their attention, to get them recognition.
I think that was the exciting thing when Glenn had called me and invited me to the inaugural opening for the magazine. Was I was like, oh, it's in North Carolina and it's close to me, so that's why I'm going. I was like, yes, something in. So it is nice, and it is nice to do things in our own backyard. And North Carolina is a great state, and there's some great ladies here that compete, and so it's nice to be able to have things going on in our state and be able to talk to people in our state, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, whether you appreciate. But one thing I would love to do, if I had Jake Wood money, I would love to do some shows. I would love to do a show in North Carolina. One place I would love to do is Asheville, because I remember I was watching a show. You remember Robert Irvine, who used to do, Dinner Impossible? He did a show a while back at Dinner Impossible in Asheville, and Asheville is pretty good. It's a good state. They had like a food truck thing. There's a lot of food trucks there. I would love to do a show there. I'm making a pro-am show, because a lot of competitors. There's afterwards, we can sell the food trucks. Say, hey, everybody who's competitive can eat for free. You
don't want to do the beach. You don't want to do anything.
Nah, I'm not a beach person. I've been to Myrtle Beach maybe 3 times in my life, and I've never been much for Myrtle Beach. But I would like to do Asheville. Maybe Wilmington. Maybe I've been to Wilmington a couple of times. But I've been to Myrtle Beach about 2 or 3 times. But I've never been a beach person. All that sand. That's never been me. But Asheville would be good because I know it'd be reasonable. It'd be a lot cheaper because down here's a lot cheaper down south for location. Also, Texas. I got a lady who's a friend of mine, Miss Big Brittany, Brittany Big Lemonade Brooks. A lot of competitors. There's a lot of bodybuilders in Texas that love the opportunity to compete there. Also, I did an interview with one Miss Andrea Sauer. She's from California, and bodybuilders. And bodybuilders start in California. It really grew back California. But there's no stages for you ladies. It used to be back in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, but there's no stages for women bodybuilding in California. I would say those are 3 places I would love to do shows like, making pro-am, because the fact is, and I break it like this, it'd be women's bodybuilding. In North Carolina, it'd be women's bodybuilding. It'd be physique, figure, and wellness, because, down south, the women are a little thicker. And then in Texas, I would do women's bodybuilding, physique, figure, fitness, because Texas has always been kind of the cheerleader state. And California, you do women's bodybuilding, physique, figure, and bikini, because it's a Sunside state. That's where that's how we'll break it down. Each state we have the main 3, which is, I think, figures closer to women's bodybuilding than anything, because I see like lightweight. physique is kind of like middleweight, and bodybuilding, it's the I would say it's the main one for everybody. Probably fair to let's see. And like I said, and pro am would be opportunity for amateurs to compete, maybe even earn a qualification for nationals. That'd be a great thing to do.
Right.
And just anything that gets you ladies to get your stages. Because the fact is, the stages are getting smaller and smaller. But it seems like you're getting a comeback, especially with the Olympia is bringing female bodybuilding to the amateurs. You have Return Miss Olympia. You have these shows that are popping up. They're supposed to be in my the indie show supposed to be coming up next week. Then New York Pro, some shows overseas, and then the rest of the shows coming in this summer. And that's great. That's great that you ladies finally are getting back into swing, especially NPC and IFBB.
Right. Yes, I agree. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see more bodybuilders.
Yeah. And here's my man, the Bullets Gotti Show point 2.0. She's sexy as hey, yeah. Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, hey, yo, Gotti, man, don't be, hey, man, I know she's a pretty woman. Don't get excited, keep in your pants and make sure you have your lotion and your sanitizer near you and some napkins. Yeah.
Is he related to the Gottis?
No, he's no
Okay.
related to the Gottis. He just he follows me on YouTube, and I follow him. He talks about sports, and also he's a bodybuilding fan. And that's a good thing. We have people like him who support you ladies. Now,
Yes.
Amy, like I said again, we're not gonna hold her too long. Like the fact that she's a busy lady, she probably want to go eat something, and she probably wants to feed her cat. So while you got you here, do you have anybody you want to shout out to, or anybody you want to say, any thank yous and much love?
Just to you and to Glenn for working to try and get us on the map and support us and support female bodybuilding. I will say hi to Marianne if she's out there watching, because I really enjoyed meeting her. Hi to Clara. I enjoyed meeting Clara. Just everybody out there, the fans, bodybuilding fans, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that follows me on Instagram. I love it. It's really nice. It's nice to be able to interact with people. I do try to interact as much as I can. I get a lot of messages, so I know I don't always get all of them answered, but I try to. Keep following, and we'll see where things go. See if I maybe pick a competition and do one, maybe start something in the fall. I'm not sure, but just, stay tuned and we'll see what happens.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. And the purpose of my thank you, like I said again, one of my favorite movies is the Chris Nolan Batman Begins, when Jim Gordon is talking to Batman and said to him, "I forgot to thank you," and Batman says, "You never have to. You never have to thank me, because it's a pleasure to give you ladies any attention that you need." And here you go, my man. Gotti says, "LOL, man, all the way George Page, great content. I enjoyed this interview and appreciate it. And we enjoyed her and her time. Like I said, she is a lady. She is, and tomorrow it will be Mother's Day. So anybody who follow my channel, send her happy Mother's Day. Best wishes. Tell her, she's a lovely lady. It was great to meet her at the event. Here goes my man James Henry. Same here, Bullets. Yeah, and also it's again with Gotti again. Carol Bennett. I will be looking for more content from you, and and that's good as they support. And again, folks, she's our IG. It's in she's in my it's in the description.
Yep.
Also, she's also on OnlyFans, because if you go to her channel, she's on OnlyFans. So you can go and do what you got to do when you're on OnlyFans, when your door's locked and your mom's not gonna say, "What you doing behind that door, boy?" You don't want to say, "Mom, I'm watching Miss Carol and I'm done." So but as I said again, like this on her IG, no D pics. She has a kid. She is a lady. That's borderline sexual harassment. It's one thing when you're on OnlyFans, you wanna show the tallywhacker, the munchkin, the little man, the thunder down below. But when she like on IG, be respectful. This is a lady, gentlemen. This is a lady, and be respectful for her and who she is. So anyway, I'd like to thank you again for coming through and enjoy this
Thank you so
conversation with you.
much. It's been
Don't
a
have to think.
pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Anyway, folks, as I said again, check out her IG. Reach out to her. Support these ladies. Be genuine when you want to support. If you are, I just want to say this: if you are somebody who's a sponsor, she's an NPC competitor, which means she is competing out of her pocket. If you are genuinely interested in sponsoring a bodybuilder, anybody in the sport of in the sport of bodybuilding, reach out. Be genuine. Don't be looking for like, okay, I'm gonna send you about $500. Send me some Nikki pics. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Be a guy saying like, I want to see you this money to help you out. I want to see you progress as an athlete and to grow. I don't want nothing out of it but to see you grow as a person, as an athlete. That's all you should do. Be genuine about wanting to help these ladies and sponsorship and things like that. Because the fact is they need any help they can get. So anyway, and like I said again, I appreciate your time, and I hope everything go. I hope you enjoy your Mother's Day, you and your daughter, and your rest of the and all the ladies out there, all you beautiful them beefcakes. I hope you who are mothers. I hope you're enjoying Mother's Day. Be your mother by nature, or mother by nurture. We all love you because I figured, it's gonna be hard for me because it's the second year without my mom. I miss her. I wish, she would have been 80. She would have been 80 this year, but you know what? She was my woman, and you know what? She made me the person I am. And and her middle name was Paige. So, I'm the only one of the kids who has the middle name. So I appreciate it. That's why I got the George, all the way George Page. Oh. Yeah. My grandfather was named George. So,
I got you. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, her father. So, yeah. But anyway, folks, I'd like to thank my brothers on Bullets Gotti Show 2.0, James Henry, Tartar Unicorn, KL, Don't Go Against Nature, James Henry, Lawrence Perkins, my man Combo Breaker 99. Anybody came through here. So again, like, comment, subscribe, reach out, be genuine, share, support women in the sport of bodybuilding, support these ladies in the NPC and the IFBB. And we like I said again, no D pics. So like I say, anyway, like I say, we thank Miss Carol Bennett for coming through, sharing her story, and I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Tell your mother, if she's not here today, tell her you love her. Always remember that this is the woman who sacrificed everything for you. Because like I said, a boy's best friend is his mother, and mine was. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this is me all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Film Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. We're out.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.